Peace family, Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen, and your intergalactic interpreter, and I just want to share something that I'm downloading right now, and it is a message about interdependence and the lie of self-sufficiency. Within the colonial structure that we live, that's aspiritualism, the separation of us from spirit, the separation from us from the divine, the separation from ourselves, cis-heteropatriarchy, the separation from each other, anti-indigeneity, anti-blackness, white domination and racism, once again the separation from each other, capitalism, the separation from our labor, the separation from the fruits of our labor, and industrialism, the separation from the planet. And all of this serves to separate us, as I said, from ourselves, from one another, from our home, earth, and from spirit, from the divine. I specifically want to talk about capitalism. Capitalism removes us from the fruits of our labor, and that creates this mentality of lack. That creates the idea of not having enough, the scarcity myth. That lie is even more believable when we don't have community, when we believe that we have to do everything on our own, which is not true. This toxic framework has used shame and manipulation in order to keep us oppressed, to keep us in lack mentality, to keep us outside of love. This is something that indigenous cultures always recognized and participated in. It's as simple as being a part of a community. It goes back to being in tribes. Colonialism has come in and broken that up. It's not about the quote-unquote family unit. It's actually about the tribe, the community. And separating us from that is what really keeps us in the prison of lack. The lie of lack keeps us operating beneath our means and beneath our ability. I grew up in a situation where we didn't have enough materially most of the time, and thankfully we are African. So it was a clear and common understanding that what we lacked, other people in our family and our community would make up for, and that's how it operated. Especially because of the introduction of capitalism and colonialism, there was a lot of shame in my family when we needed to ask for help. And so I was taught at a young age that I needed to be self-sufficient. I needed to be able to do everything on my own and not depend on anybody else. But if we actually look at wealthy people, we know that that's not true. Most wealthy people actually take loans. They take loans from their parents. They take loans from other wealthy people in their networks. They take loans from the banks because they're able to get these loans. What do you think investing is? When somebody invests in your business, you are still accepting money and resources from someone else who is not you. Think about it this way. Kanye West, who up until recently was a billionaire, asked many times over the years for financial support and access to resources from folks outside of him. 50 Cent, someone who is also a very successful business person, declared bankruptcy several years ago. Just because it's not up in your face that people who are wealthy and powerful are getting help from people in their communities does not mean that it's not happening. It's just not something that we know about. There doesn't need to be any shame in asking for help. It's what we're supposed to do. Human beings are social creatures. Homo sapiens are social beings. We are meant to ask for help. We are meant to operate in a community setting. We are meant to share resources. That's how it's always been, and frankly, that's how it's always going to be. We've already arrived in 5D New Earth, and that is why a lot of us are being pushed into and out of situations that are helping us to get more into alignment with the truth of interdependence, because we are returning to that reality more and more. And more we're being guided in ways to show up for this and to practice this, to practice asking for help, to practice giving freely of ourselves without any expectation of what's going to come back to us.